We've been talking a lot, Rob and I have been, about this time of year and how meaningful it is to us, how the number of years we've lived have increased the meaning for us because we have layers and layers and layers on top of the memories that we are creating. This time of year really, for us, in our family, begins with Dee and with Thanksgiving in Canada. I was really not very aware of Canadian Thanksgiving, obviously, in our growing up. I had written down the traditions Dee has brought, and I call them poppers. That's not what they are, right? They're called
Christmas crackers.
Crackers, that's it. So, because now I have to go buy them for Christmas dinner because it's this cool thing we do, and then we all wear the crowns,
Right.
and it's become so meaningful. And then up until you and your introduction of that to us, I was oblivious to that whole thing. Now I see it in other, especially English.
Yeah, it is a very British
celebrations.
thing. Yeah.
Faith and Ian do this.
Yeah, they do.
So how is Canadian Thanksgiving the same or different?
It's very different. I mean, the thing that's similar or the same is turkey. Canadian Thanksgiving isn't a big deal like it is in the States because in the States it's a month later and it kicks off the Christmas season. You get a longer time to celebrate. In Canada, it's a long weekend. There isn't so much history to it like it is in the States with the pilgrims and all that stuff. In Canada, it's just the harvest time because obviously it's a month earlier because we harvest earlier. So it's just being thankful for the harvest. In my family, it's not typical in all of Canada, but we always did our Thanksgiving meal on Sunday, like after church. That was our main thing. But a lot of families would celebrate on the Monday, which is the second Monday in October.
Is that the official date?
Yeah.
The Monday. Mm-hmm.
So you don't have like a Macy's parade?
No,
Santa?
nothing like that.
No parades?
No, and we have enough time between our Thanksgiving and Christmas that then you have a Christmas turkey. Because that was a huge adjustment for me because Thanksgiving here is in November, so close to Christmas. Like, you don't want to have turkey again Christmas Day. You're just getting over the leftovers from Thanksgiving. That really affected me. I was thrown for a loop. Yeah.
That just kind of reinforces the idea that food is such an important part of the traditions that we have. It is partly the familiarity of the food that adds so much meaning to the celebration.
Yeah.
We have these certain things every year, and when one of them's missing, you're very aware of that.
Yes.
So Thanksgiving, you do turkey in Canada.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Anything else? Because I know you guys, your mom likes to do a lot of other things.
Well, my mom, whenever she cooks, has to have she'll cook a roast, a ham, and a turkey because she's crazy.
Any different sides that we don't have here in
Well,
the States?
in Newfoundland, so our stuffing, which we call dressing, has Newfoundland savory, which is not typical of when you guys know savory. Newfoundland savory is an herb grown in Mount Sinai, Newfoundland, which is one of the things I usually get from my mom for Christmas so I can replenish my savory packages. Then we have something called salt meat, which is beef that's salted. That is uniquely Newfoundland, and every Newfoundlander loves their salt meat. I inherited my love from my grandfather, Drover, who always had to have salt meat, which is probably why he died of a stroke.
We had salt meat at Christmas last year.
Yes, my mom brought down salt
everybody was
meat.
here. Yeah.
And
Bacon on steroids.
salt meat came out of necessity because before refrigeration, the meat would be salted to preserve it.
There's another connection with our Thanksgivings that I just found out getting ready for this. Do you know the native Squanto? Tisquantum. Tisquantum.
Yeah.
So pilgrims, let's say our first meeting the Native Americans, what does that conversation sound like? They're all done in English because the natives had already been working with British sailors, all along the Maine coast and that. So they would pick up some English. The man known as Squanto He had been a slave, been taken over to Spain. Then he's back in Britain with his master, and they come back to America by way of Newfoundland. And he learns something in Newfoundland that he then goes on to teach the Pilgrims about how to plant corn
You need to fertilize the earth with fish.
with fish. Because in
Which
Newfoundland,
I grew up doing in the summertime when the capelin would roll in on the beach. We would collect large pails of capelin, and then in our vegetable garden, we would put the capelin along the rows and just put a little bit of dirt over it. And that's what would act as fertilizer. So that's something that Newfoundlanders have done forever.
How about dessert? Was pumpkin pie a thing, or is that an American staple?
That's American. We always had a Christmas pudding, which had a sauce. And this particular Christmas, we've got our turkey, all of the sides and everything. And then here comes the Christmas pudding. And so we start eating the Christmas pudding. And I'm thinking, this tastes really weird. And so we're not eating it. And my grandmother said, nobody likes the Christmas pudding. We're like, no, it's fine. And my brother, being my brother, no, Nan, this is delicious. Give me more. My mom, she would want the house to smell really good. She had liquid potpourri, and she would put it on the stove in a pan. And then Mom says, what pot did you use to make the sauce in? And my grandmother says, well, the pot that was on the stove. My brother is finishing his second helping, and Mom goes, that's the pot I used for the liquid potpourri. Daryl starts spitting out the Christmas pudding. My mom gets on the phone to poison control, and they all start laughing, and they say, we've never had this one come in before. And they're like, no, you'll be fine. It'll pass. My brother was freaking out for the rest of the day. But this is the Christmas where we all joke that my grandmother tried to poison all of us. So,
Growing up, our Thanksgivings were incredibly busy. In Detroit, you grew up with the Christmas parade, and some of us played in that parade.
That was the Hudson's parade.
The
at that
Hudson's
point,
Parade,
yeah.
which is no longer, but it's called something else. It's called the Thanksgiving Parade.
Yeah. Detroit Citadel for years and years. I mean, Jan talked about the parade. Again, for the McMahons growing up, it was going to Saginaw. Thanksgiving dinner, see all the cousins and the aunts and uncles and the grandparents. And then we would come back in order to be at the core, that Detroit Citadel, downtown Detroit, in time for the Thanksgiving concert, which was a big deal
huge.
when we were growing up.
Yeah.
That concert that we had every year at the core lasted 100 years. It is no more, does not happen anymore, but it was a 100-year tradition. And back in the day when we were influenced by it, it was a very big deal. Eric Ball came to our Thanksgiving concert. You know, it was that kind of level of affair.
Eric Ball, Leslie Condon.
Yeah.
I think Ray Bowes did one year. I know Ken Bloomquist did one year.
Yeah.
But that was when we were already at Dearborn Heights. And I don't remember all the other.
Jim Indiana Chain. Yeah.
I
actually, we
remember that,
still
yeah.
have the program from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what ended it, I think. They said, oh, this is the level now? Let's just pack it in.
Speaking of ended, that's what happened this year with the Marks family reunion at Thanksgiving.
This must have
isn't-
hit hard.
It was. It did hit hard, a lot of us. All my life that I can remember, and my mom's before that, before we were even born, and there were 4 kids from Grandpa and Grandma Marks. They always celebrated Thanksgiving, and then when their families started to grow, we got together for Thanksgiving. I had 13 cousins, first cousins, that we saw at least once a year. Some of them, that's the only time we would see them. Decades and decades of getting together like that. And it moved from place to place. It started in Saginaw. It moved to Southgate, Michigan, the downriver Detroit area, and then finally out to, I don't remember.
I thought with that size family, you would have rented Cobo Hall or something.
Well, one of the things when my cousin Alan moved to a new home and it agreed to take the Thanksgiving, it had to have a basement that was large enough to handle at least 50 people. Because that's, we could get that many. It expanded from just Marks to in-laws and outlaws and things like that that became part of it all. It was a great time. Sad to see it end. I mean, we all knew it was going to end one day. It ended kind of suddenly this year, but Now, when Jan and I got married, we moved to Florida. At first, both of us working. She didn't get the time off, and I didn't get the week. And then we started to go back every other year. And then finally, we just said, this is important. We're going to do it every year.
I was there just once for
Yeah, I was with you. Yeah, I
Okay,
was
all right, that was more recent. So I was there twice.
Oh,
Because I was there when Grandpa Marks made
Yeah.
the best apple pie I've ever had. And I don't know what it was about it, but it was also laced with tryptophan, I think.
Everything was.
But I was on the outside of the circle, but you could still sense this was a generational event. Very meaningful.
Yeah.
There was a brief for it. There's a notebook with all the instructions, every recipe, how we had potato day when we would go 2 days before Thanksgiving and peel potatoes. It was a tradition.
Yeah.
The family accumulated all the, what do I want to say, the pans and
Equipment, the
all the
tables,
equipment
yeah.
necessary to make a dinner for 50 people. So these are the things and the memories that come with that, the tradition and memories that come with that experience adds, again, it adds meaning every year.
Yeah.
Do you have one of these books?
No, but I've seen it.
Oh,
I wonder.
I thought it was something distributed to everybody.
No. It was there. It was at Alan's place. So he had all the times, how much turkey, and then we would all contribute to the cost of the turkey,
Right.
and we all brought sides. It was
So
just
there's one room, and this book is open on a pedestal. There's
like
a
the
light
Bible.
above it, and
It's
you
a-
walk in.
from
There's
heaven.
music.
Yeah,
and you go and you say,
angels are singing.
"Oh, potato
right.
day."
Yeah. So it was a big deal. So Rob just finished a video where he brought together as many as he could, pictures from over the years, to send to all the cousins, remembering to Amy Grant's,
Heirlooms.
gosh, just talk about ruining you.
Rats.
Anyway, it's one of the first ways I felt a part of the family was to get to be part of that Thanksgiving because everybody welcomed me easily.
Your mom, she went a couple of times. Val Dobney was at
Yeah.
the last one with my mom just before she passed.
One of the last pictures we have,
Yeah. She wasn't crazy about going that last year. She just would have preferred to stay at home, but we thought, no, this is going to be it, Mom. You need to say goodbye to people, or they need to see you.
there's this great piece of video of her sitting with Stan, and it was his last time too. So Rob's uncle Stan is the oldest of the 4 siblings, and his mom was the youngest, and they were the 2 remaining siblings at this last Thanksgiving. And we've got this video of them talking to each other side by side, and it's just that's what it was.
Stan, he's 105 now, and they don't travel anymore, so they stopped coming up. A
He
couple
lives here
years
in
ago.
Florida, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lives on the west coast,
On the
East Coast. Yeah,
The other side.
yeah.
Anyway, that part of that family tradition, which is generational and large and inclusive, was probably the most important Thanksgiving tradition that we shared
Yeah.
in our married lives.
And that, like Dee said, Thanksgiving here kicks off the Christmas season, which for Jan and I has become the Advent season.
Oh, yeah.
Something that we never really, I can't remember growing up in the Salvation Army that we paid a whole lot of attention
Right,
to
yeah.
Advent.
No.
Might have had an Advent wreath. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the Advent wreath became like, oh, we're doing churchy things now. Like,
Churchy. It was churchy, and
Yeah.
it was almost that whole it was anti-Catholic is what it was. It's a reaction to liturgy, and which is why we never did the Advent stuff or the Lent stuff. We never did that growing up.
Right.
And you're younger,
Did
and
you?
that may be a difference too.
Did
Dee.
you in Canada?
Yeah, we
Did the
had an
Army have
Advent
it?
wreath.
But,
at home?
What? Yeah, at home at the
oh,
Citadel.
okay.
Yeah.
At Citadel?
Yeah.
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 But now, when you get away from the Salvation Army, you find yourself in the Episcopal Church, and you guys follow the church year. So where are we in our church year?
We're in Advent.
But Advent, I like Advent because I'll see sometime online, according to my chocolate Advent calendar, we have 3 days left till Christmas. I like that one. Do you guys have an Advent calendar?
No.
We have an Advent wreath.
Right. So Advent is the beginning of the church year. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to me. I didn't know that until recently, that really the church year starts now.
Starts now.
And this has become an important part of our lives is acknowledging Advent and having readings It's interesting because when we first went to the Episcopal Church, we noted that you don't sing Christmas carols in Advent.
Right.
You sing Advent songs. He's coming, but not Joy to the World, which all happens from Christmas on through Epiphany instead of before Christmas. Anyway, all that to say, Advent is a separate season in liturgical churches, and it's preparation for something.
So with Advent on top of you, can you still watch Christmas-related things before Christmas Day?
We do, yeah. That hasn't changed for us. At church, we don't sing Christmas carols until the time between Christmas and Epiphany, and even beyond that. There's several Sundays after Christmas, right, Jan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Hudson's?
Let's talk about kettles. Hudson's was on Woodward Avenue.
Yep.
Woodward and Gratiot. And they would have kettles at the south and the north. If it was your good day, you were going to be standing at Hudson's South. If somehow you were on someone's naughty list, you ended up behind it over at Crowley's, which was the windiest, most miserable place to stand. But Hudson's South, the Salvation Army could stand a little recessed back from the wind, right on the corner. You would time your music by when the light changed for pedestrians, and you could see pedestrians coming across Woodward. You'd strike up your best jingle bells or whatever it is. They'd pass by the kettle, put money in there, and then go into the warmth of Hudson's. There was one year, I still can't believe he did this, Lance Duguay was in charge of kettles down there. So I remember the day I went down, and we were at some place other than at the core, and I barely knew how to get there. And at the end of the day, when Lance is coming around to pick up kettles, he told me to take the kettles and to walk them over to this place. Okay, fine. I've got the North Hudson's kettle and the South Hudson's kettle. So I put my horn away. I'm carrying my horn. I'm carrying these two kettles. And I'm going through some rather sketchy back roads to find this place. And I realize here's this kid, teenager, carrying two kettles that obviously are full of money. And I'm carrying my horn, and I'm a little bit lost. I'm thinking, I think the building's over here. And I remember going down one alley, the number of things that could have gone wrong.
Mm-hmm. But you had weapons, your horn and the kettles.
You've heard me play. Kettles, downtown Detroit, was amazing. The 11th floor of Hudson's had a cafeteria.
Do you remember the floor just for kids to shop?
The 12th floor.
Yes.
Oh,
That was the
cool.
12th floor. And I remember having money in an envelope pinned to my sleeve, and I could go through, you know, that paperweight, the clear
Yes.
one,
Yeah,
that round
yeah,
one.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I bought that
Yeah. I remember.
from Mom. So, but the 11th floor had the most amazing chicken pot pie.
Oh, yeah.
Simply amazing.
We buy our Christmas tree the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Where do you buy it?
In the last several years, we bought from a family-owned Christmas farm in Wisconsin who come down and they set up right on the corner of 580 and McMillan Booth at Countryside High School. And we've been purchasing from them for 10, 15 years probably.
It costs us way too much money, but,
too much.
you know, we're investing in their farm.
Yeah, it's a family farm, and that's where we get our tree. And we decorate almost exclusively with ornaments we've collected from places we've been. We've got some sports ones, and we've got some Disney ones too, but most of them are from national parks that we visited or countries that we visited or cities around the world, around the United States that we've been to.
The big question.
Yeah.
Do you have a red plastic Santa?
Yes, we do.
Christmas 1956.
How do you know that?
It says it on the bottom. Mom made a tag.
Did she? Oh, man, that's great. The other tradition that is, for me, so meaningful is when Rob creates this village. How long does it take you to put it up?
3 days.
3 days?
3 good days.
And
I mean, they're talking 8 hours a day.
And it's the villages. You have one railroad.
Yeah.
You have a lift. What's it called?
Gondola?
Gondola. Yeah.
Gondola thing.
Ski lift. Yeah.
You'll have some little ponds where skaters are. You have little stores, little houses, and every year is a different design. Now, this year looks rather symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
So you come out
Did it for Jan.
from your French doors, and you're looking at it, and it kind of builds up towards the mountain area.
Right.
How long have you been doing that?
All our marriage.
Pretty much.
We started with a couple of buildings. It's a Snow Village, which is Department 56. It's the company. And I started collecting those, and it started under our Christmas tree. Every year at Thanksgiving, we'd go up to Frankenmuth. That was another tradition.
I was just going to say, this connects to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, after Thanksgiving Day, if we hadn't eaten enough, we would go up to Frankenmuth for the chicken dinner, all you can eat chicken dinners. But then we'd go to Bronner's, which is the largest Christmas store in the world. I'd buy one or two more houses
From that series.
The
Snow Village
Snow
series
Village
from
series.
Department 56. Okay.
And it grew and grew and grew and grew. So now it's on the porch. Takes up about 6 tables right now.
Oh.
Nobody wants it when I'm dead.
That's crazy.
It's fun. And I do try and do something different every year. It's not the same setup ever.
Well, no, the whole town is arranged differently
Yeah.
pretty much every year.
So the thing, it's evocative. I'll get mystic about it. It doesn't exist until Rob creates it. But once he creates it, it feels like it's always been there. Like it is somehow in miniature a reflection of a real place. You can imagine the people that live there. Everyone knows about and cares about or is irritated about everyone around them. It's like a small village. I have a little imagination that runs with it that reminds me very much of Greenfield Village. Because as a kid, I used to do this. You know, you go there and you have, what's there? Noah Webster's house, you have Edison's Menlo Park, you have a courthouse where Lincoln practiced. It's a village, and all these historic buildings have been brought there by Henry Ford to make this idyllic village. And I would think, once it closes, every night when that closes and everyone leaves, that the residents there would say, okay, they're all gone. We can go about our lives again. And the blacksmith is doing that. The candle maker is doing that. The mill is working. The train is running. Just imagining that the people that are in your village have a certain sort of mystic reality. Because once it's made, you can see it as an organic place. It's a beautiful expression of Christmas that I look forward to every year.
You know what we noticed this year? Jen brought it to my attention, and I hadn't really thought about it. All the little figurines that I have, there's no variety. I mean,
Diversity.
there's no
Oh,
diversity.
they're all
They're all
Caucasian?
Caucasian.
Maybe
So-
you just need to get some paint.
Well, yeah, we could do that. Jan has ordered me some
We'll have more diversity.
more
this year.
diverse figurines to use.
It's
yeah.
a very New England looking village. So it's got that quality about it, but it's a little disturbing. It's a celebration Disney-esque in a way. And so I found some more diverse people to put in his village. I'm feeling better about it now.
Me too.
I want to go back to what Dee said about the week, the Christmas to New Year's week, because that experience adds meaning to that week that I don't have in my life, which is why Rob said the anticipation that
Yeah.
there's a letdown.
Yeah.
But for you, that wouldn't have been the case. You would have been, every day is like another day of Christmas during that time where you're with family. And I have this void after Christmas, with the exception that I get as a kid. I remember thinking it was pretty cool that it never bothered me like everybody thinks it does, that your birthday is close to Christmas, because for me it gave me the next thing to be excited about as a kid. But for you had that daily experience of
Yeah.
family that extends the holiday
That's cool.
in a way I didn't have.
Yeah, and as you're talking, then I remembered New Year's Day was skating day. They would have hockey games, like the Citadel versus the Temple, and they would rent the rink for the day. And then after the hockey game, then it was free skating. And I just remember, New Year's Day was, oh, we're going skating. That was fun. And then after that, we would go to my grandparents where all my cousins and that were. So the whole week was jam-packed with stuff.
I really like what Jim said about time being circular rather than linear. And I think that's what traditions help us see, because they come around every year, because they're traditions.
Yeah, that's why it's so disappointing when they're gone.
When they're gone,
Yeah.
but then there's another tradition somewhere down the line
Yeah.
to look forward to.
This year, we're reading about the liturgical year with Diana Butler-Bass and the circular nature of it. And I think it's what draws me to that church calendar cycle. It's We look at calendars in our Western world in a very linear way, and the church world doesn't. It looks at it in a circular way, which in a way is how we live with holidays. With these holidays, it's a circle, it's a cycle, and we come back to it. That, to me, is what creates the meaning of it, is that repetition that's come back again. I like that.
I like it a lot.
There's another thing that Diana Butler Bass does in this new book she's got, and it's about linear time being more empire-oriented, more Roman in its observation, versus the liturgical year, which is more, she's going to almost call it revolutionary, counter-revolutionary, more cyclical, and away from the empire perspective, which is sort of militaristic in how we name and how we acknowledge what's happening, versus the church in a cycle. So I think if you have a circle and you can come into that circle and you keep going, the circle may get bigger, but it's still that cycle that comes back around every year, now with a new, maybe wider circumference. This is a great quote from Gustav Mahler. Tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire. And I liked that. I liked the imagery of that it's what keeps it alive. It's not what represents the death of something, but the life of it.